ollie. This trick is called an ollie. First move your front foot back, crouch, then all at once jump up, kick down on the tail and use your front foot to scoop the board into the air and control it all the way back down to earth. Skaters don't worry if there's anything in their way, they just ollie right over it. Here Greg shows us how in true street style, showing the importance of keeping your knees bent on takeoff and landing. Leap tall buildings in a single bound. And we're gonna see some fantastic skating here, skateboarding, a great new sport for the 90s. The competitors are busy tuning their fine high-tech equipment before drop-in time begins. In the Pee Wee division, Dean Ferreira displays his talents on the spine ramp. 2 back-to-back ramps make a spine, which adds up to double the fun. And over he goes. And over again, putting together some good moves for second place. Douglas Kruger up next, adding some strong maneuvers in with a lot of style for a well-thought-out run. 50-50 from a Pee-wee, impressive trick there. And to tail right over the spine, another 50-50. And a fakey rock and roll. Into a lockup. What's he building up speed for? Oh yes, another ass drop over the spine, and Douglas Kruger gets first with that run. But both skaters had Stephen Esterhazen from Pretoria to contend with. The littlest skater, he still strings together some of the best moves. Rock and roll. Tail tap. Faking up the ramp, and he goes into a 360 there from Stephen Esterhazen. Oh, and he gets his fakey air there, and that's good enough for third place. But don't these guys get a bit of stage fright performing in front of all the crowds of staring spectators?
You start off, and as you start your first run, you get butterflies in your stomach, and you think to yourself, am I going to make it? If I don't make it, yes, I'm going to let my teammates down if you sponsored. And like, sometimes it's blind if you wipe out, but you just have to wipe properly, and then it's cool.
But Russell rose up to do some lank good bike riding to show the skaters that bikers can still teach them a thing or two. Russell flying out of the ramp before he ends his run with a nice dismount. Back to the Junior B Spine Ramp Finals with Michael Ruloff stylishly flowing over the spine on many tearing tricks, like this half-cab grab. He follows it up with, oh, a frontside disaster to fakie. Into a fakie lockup. Then a 50-50 over the spine. Ollie grab over, and he keeps his balance for a blunt. A tail stall. Another spine ram cross, grabbing the nose that time into a 50-50. Going straight over. Looks like he's going to fakey rock. And then a perfect pivot. And that was good enough to get him first place. However, Michael had to contend with rookie Marius Bardenhurst all the way from Pretoria. Marius melancholy right over the spine, one of the hardest tricks pulled out here today. Fakey rock and roll, fakey lockup. Oh, and another ollie grab right over the spine. His first time on the spine ramp, and he skates like he's been skating it all his life. As the crowd watches from the balconies above, Marius ollies over. Oh, and skadanks his knees as he falls over the spine, but that was good enough for second place. Skating his way into third place was Jordan Soto, with this ollie blunt in the distance. And a fakey lockup with no fear at all.
It's scary, but it's great that the kids are doing a sport where they're occupied and they're wet out at night and they don't go running around in the evenings after having a good skate session. Rather they're flying high on a skateboard than flying high on drugs.
A Apart from the fun though, what are the guys doing it all for?
We've offered up to 10,000 rands worth of prizes. That's the cash value of the prizes we've offered.
And the action on the halfpipe gets underway with the Junior A finals. And the judges keep their eyes glued to the action, because the Junior A's are always on fire with some exciting tricks like this alley-oop by Justin Armstrong, almost across the whole ramp. And Bruce Forfeit wipes out on this frontside air. Oh, they're so brave. And Justin Armstrong pulled outrageous maneuvers like this McTwist for third place. Sven Martin was his usual ripping self with grinds, big airs, and this massive sailfish skating into first. Indy nose picker, and smooth inverts as the clouds gather, forcing everyone to hurry up with the contest before the floodgates open. Claiming second spot was Dallas Oberhalter, and the outrageous maneuvers driving the local skaters around the Mac Twist. Skating's red and Junior Sport rips! Unfortunately, rain came down and stopped the contest after we had some outrageous maneuvers, some hot, fantastic skating from all the skaters here on the halfpipe and the spine ramp at the Boogaloo Swatch Skateboarding Pro-Am. Skateboarding, the activity and sport and art of the 90s.
What is it?
Or rail, that is long and slippery. First get some rails, then speed towards the bar at a slight angle. Ollie your board halfway over the rail, slide along it and kick turn off. Quite the tricky move, a deck slide could score you lots of points in a street contest. Lift your weight slightly back for a longer slide, then lean onto your tail for the kick turn to come off. Keep practicing until this one is no problem.
The good ones do it in the tube.
Launches into orbit. Then he wings back in, guaranteeing a smooth landing by lining his shoulders up with the direction the board is traveling. Backside isn't the only way you can pull off an air. Check out Evan as he pulls a lacquer lean air with loads and loads of style. And Sven's air is magically methoded. Whoa, length heels, bruh. The bird slide is the trick with the slippery system. Speed up any slope, crouch, lean back on one hand, and scoot your board out with your back foot in any direction you want as long as you stay on. 180, 360, 540, 720 unlimited degrees, and keep your style at boiling point. Keep your eyes peeled for this one because the bird slide is a great looking move. Look out!
Sticks and pucks.
In Johannesburg to slap our eyeballs on some hockey action so hot you won't. Pioneer skateboarder, zigzag photojournalist, founder member of the National Skateboard Association, and ramp builder. Haldane Martin is involved in as many aspects of his favorite pastime as anybody, but what he loves best is ripping on the big ramps. Where did it all begin?
Well, I started at Cresta. A friend of mine took me there and showed me how to drop in, and from there, like the feeling just sort of took over, and now I'm addicted to skating, you could say, I suppose. And from there, we built a ramp just be down the road to Mike's house, and we started ramp skating there a bit, and we skated Narnaball. It's been there for something like 12, 15 years. Just there long before we started skating, we just heard about it, and we had to empty it out, and it was like all this green slime in it, and so we emptied it out, Brad and a few friends of us, and then we skated for a long time, and the neighbors got upset with all the skaters hanging out there the whole time, so they filled it in with sand, and the skaters emptied it again. Now it's people still skate it. We skated today. It's fun.
So much for somewhere to stick your fruit, but what does Haldane's dream ramp look like?
Well, before the holiday it was about 6-foot ramp. Now I prefer bigger ramps, say 10-foot ramp. There are a lot of good ramps going up at the moment, so I'm getting more into big ramps now, and I find it a lot more exciting. You know, it's more of a challenge to get your tricks right in a big ramp. It's a lot scarier, and you fall a lot harder. Just a straightforward ramp gets a bit boring riding back and forward. When you have other options like spines and hips and bowls and so on, it'll make it a lot more exciting, and I think that's the future for South Africa. There are already skate parks that are turning towards this way that will be built before the end of this year.
Skateboarding competitions are popping up everywhere. But what is the scene like back at the ranch in Haldane's very own front yard, Cape Town?
There haven't really been any good competitions in Cape Town, so nobody really knows what really big competitions are really like. There are a few guys like Carl Trenick who travel every now and then, but most of the guys in Cape Town just sort of sit at home and skate their local ramps. They should really get into it because it's a lot of fun, skating all the contests. And you become a better skater, definitely. Your skateboarding improves so much when you skate in a competition. You sort of refine all your tricks and you do them as best as you can. It's really hard to get your mind in the right sort of state for a contest. There's so much going on, there's so much noise and everything, it's hard to concentrate, but I try sort of go through my run in my head and sort of think each way I'm going to do the trick, and then sort of so I can totally concentrate on my skating instead of worrying about my competitors and so on. At the moment I'm still studying at Tech, so I don't have much time to skate. So I don't have that much time to learn new tricks. So I don't use this as an excuse and not enter contests. I enter contests and I just do the best I can. I make my runs smooth. I sort of get a good line together and use my tricks to the maximum. You know, I push them as far as I can push them and try to make them look good. When I stop Tech, well, when I finish my course, then I'll concentrate more on my skating and get a bit of variety there.
How does Haldane feel about competing in the near future against one of the sickest skateboarders in the country, his brother Sven?
I think it's good because it's going to push my skating. I'm going to have to skate a lot better to keep up with him. And so I think it can only be a positive thing. It'll be a lot more exciting competing with good skaters. Because next year we're planning to put the juniors and the seniors together, and then just rather having an A and a B group instead of an age group difference, because there shouldn't really be an age group difference. So it'll be better next year.
Skateboarding is one of the fastest growing sports in South Africa. How does Haldane view the future of his favorite pastime?
I see it becoming more of a sport, not so much of a craze and everything. It'll be people that are into skateboarding in the future will be into it because they're really enjoying it, not because their friends doing it or whatever. They're going to be committed to it and they're going to do it because they enjoy it. You know, and it's a lot of fun. And I see it becoming, maybe it will be a recognized sport soon, and where we can get colors and maybe Springbok colors and so on. That's the way we're going to direct the sport. Yeah, the NSA are basically doing all of this. They're starting clubs all over the country that are sort of becoming affiliated to the NSA, and we want to direct skateboarding, we want to get it under one umbrella so that all the competitions that are run and all the skate parks that get built, so it all gets done properly with the proper rules and so on. That way it'll be a lot more positive for the sport, it'll have a lot more direction. All of the skaters will be unified into one big group, and I can just see that as a positive thing.
Richards Bay Surf Masters was a half-A rated Pro-M event, which afforded a strong, starry-eyed local contingent of amateur surfers the opportunity of testing their mettle against some of the biggest professionals from Durban and the Natal South Coast. Judging criteria used for the Portnet Pro-Am were based on the international 10-point system as used on the ASP World Tour, namely, the surfer who executes the most radical controlled maneuvers in the most critical section of the biggest and or best waves for the longest functional distance shall be deemed the winner. "14-year-old Gert Dupree from Richards Bay gave the judges exactly what they were looking for and deservedly served his way into the main event. Junior Sport spoke to the PRO for the Zululand Surfing Association, Gary Mersham, about the significance of the Portnet Pro-Am.
It's grown incredibly amongst the youngsters here. It's probably the most important sport as far as they're concerned, and so it's given them the opportunity to surf against some of the country's best surfers and to test their skills. And secondly, it's the first time that a major industrial company has sponsored such an event, and we hope that this is the beginning of many more.
Another local standout was Rob Moore-Boyle, who certainly gave the big guns a run for their money. It's also a very demanding sport, physically speaking, and, well, a healthy appetite means a healthy body and mind. Local lad Kenny Skeepers went for broke, and in these trying onshore conditions certainly felt the power of the mighty Neptune. But then, so too did many others. Durban professional Robin Lavery made light work of the trying conditions with a series of powerful off-on lips and roundhouse cutbacks. Ideal conditions for surfing are a good swell and an offshore wind, which is simply a wind that blows from the land onto the sea, thereby creating hollow and evenly breaking waves. However, the prevailing onshore winds made for tests of a different kind, namely good wave selection and above all versatility. Sean Moore-Boyle was another Richards Bay standout, who had the advantage of knowing the break like the back of his hand. Proof once again that local is lekker. Only female entrant in the contest was current South African amateur champion and 5-time Springbok Kay Holt. Although she, as usual, gave of her best with powerful bottom turns and floaters, competition against the men was too much of a tall order, and she was eliminated in round 1. Seasoned professional, goofy footer from Durban, Craig Sims clearly showed why he has won countless South African titles over the years. Superb timing, aggressive vertical maneuvers, and above all, long rides of great style. Another Durban professional, Gavin Spowart, also showed why he has the reputation for being a fearless competitor. Dynamic floaters were earning him maximum points. He made it into the quarterfinals before being ousted by rookie professional Michael Young. Current South African amateur champion Carl Roux full bore through the back door. This graceful surfer is currently doing his national service and certainly has a bright future ahead of him.
Certainly not me, okay.
Okay, center manager doesn't want anybody skating on top of that.
Well, we're here to skate, though.
I know you to skate, have fun. I like watching skating, but not on those balls over there, please.
Okay.
Yo, kids, welcome to this, the first of our 5-part series, Too Hot to Handle. Our presentation on the local skateboarding scene, impressions of skateboard history, local action, and venues. First up, some rare archive footage from the 70s. How's this for prehistoric?
When the real hot riders meet, they can take you on a truly magical ride. There's Jollers op Rollers, vaartbeleid en vrij. Local hots handle aerials, lip sliders, 360s and one-wheelers with the greatest of ease. Dollars kop af kan het niet gaan nie. Slowing down the action on the concrete waves, one sees cruising, gliding, sheer poetry in motion. So if you get stoked on it, why not join the fun and have a gas ride?
Yeah, that was the 70s. Now for the nasty 90s, where skating is big and bad. Skating is back. U.S. Pro, Steve Schneer.
Well, in the States, it's very big still. Europe, I was just in Europe for a month, just back in July, and it's huge there. The World Cup was there, and there's over 15,000 spectators came in just buses all over to Germany to watch it, and there's skaters from every country, you know, Japan, Australia, the United States, every country in Europe, even Russia.
And Steve's inspiration, the legendary Tony Alva.
Tony Alva was, you know, the guy that was around when I was skating. He was always in the magazines. And so I started when I was 10, you know, early 70s. My first board was a piece of wood with a roller skate nailed to the bottom, no joke. And from there, it just progressed on, and I finally got sponsored and, just, you know, went traveling around, you know, starting when I was probably, you know, 14 or 15, going to the skate parks in California with the team I was on and competing quite a lot. And after that, 16, got a driver's license and a car, and I was gone.
Another U.S. pro, Peanut Brown, talks to Dave Taylor.
What are your opinions on why skateboarding died out in the 80s? I think that was a worldwide trend, really.
Well, I can only speak for the States, but the States were mainly because of insurance. Insurance scares, kids falling, and in the States, the insurance laws got very liberal, and people start getting sued, and that was a problem. Now, the insurance laws have ceased, and they've got more restrictions, and so it has a chance to come back, but I think that was the main problem.
Right. Okay, you're talking about public skate parks. You said where you come from, there are plus minus 5 or 6 public skate parks, as what we've seen behind us here. Is that a common occurrence around the United States of having public skating parks instead of privately owned skate parks?
Well, the trend was to be privately owned first. And then when it died down because of insurance, you started to see a rise on some public. Now it's going back to private. You're getting more and more private enterprise coming in and opening up parks for the kids and everything.
Right.
remember when you were trying
Daarvan gaat